Hello, everyone. Good morning to everyone in Europe. Good afternoon in India. Early evening in Southeast Asia, ASEAN, Australia, New Zealand. And of course, early good night to everyone in Canada, USA, and Latin America. Ladies and gentlemen, during this lockdown period, COVID 19, we are all passing through very difficult times, the global economy, the global employment, and whatever is coming up in the whole society, it is seeing the new norms of life, new way of life, new pedagogies of life. Changes are coming. Tourism, hospitality, and aviation is getting down, and there are new emergings as far as education is concerned. Digital education, e-education, online education, and the whole definition of B2B, what used to be business to business, is now back to the basics, what we talk about. Today, we are privileged to have Dato Ramesh Kodamal ji, who is the chairman of the ASEAN India Business Council Malaysian chapter and the co-chairman of the ASEAN India Business Council. He's also currently a council member for the Malaysian Associated Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry since 2013. He's also member of the Malaysia National Committee for Pacific Economic Cooperation. We are privileged to have this distinguished guest today, Dato Ramesh ji, who is also the chairman of the Goldtex group of companies since 1973, which is specializing in import and exports of the garments and textiles besides manufacturing home furnishing. He actively promotes the interest of the business community between ASEAN, India, and he has been deeply involved with the visit of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to Malaysia as part of this initiative. He participates in various international forums, seminars, conferences, and conventions, and he has been dynamically involved with the various chambers in India, ASEAN, and world over. At the same time, he's also deeply associated with large number of NGOs. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome to Dato Ramesh Kodamal ji to be with us this evening. It's such a pleasure to have him, and we are going to have the deliberations. What are the relations between India and ASEAN, the business opportunities and challenges? And during this particular deliberation, we would also be especially talking and focusing on the Northeast India and the ASEAN future linkages and relationship. With these words, we extend a very hearty welcome to Dato Ramesh Kodamal ji.
To all the viewers who are down there today joining us in this session, I think we are sorry. I think in life, if we don't make a mistake, we are considered to be God. And if we do a mistake and correct ourselves, we are human. But I hope we repeatedly don't do mistakes so that we can carry on life easily. I think today is a very interesting section. I thank Dr. Gulshan Sharma for taking this effort to see that how ASEAN and India can work together and we move forward. Having said this, there is something which we have to realize. ASEAN and India relationship has been there for centuries. And this relationship can only grow year on year, century on century. But today, all of us are having a thought, not about anything else, but a sudden change in our life, which we look at it, which we call it the COVID-19. And such a change has happened in our life unexpectedly that we all are wondering, how did it happen? Why did it happen? And what can happen after this? If while we are talking now, at this present moment, you are having another disaster in the Bay of Bengal, where thousands of people will be affected by the cyclone. So this clearly shows us that at every point in our life, we have got challenges. Today's talk about challenges and opportunities within India and ASEAN, since we are born, we always have faced challenges. And these challenges, we have always overcome. And by overcoming challenges, we have seen opportunities. There isn't anyone in life who can tell me that he has never faced a challenge. And there's no one who can tell me without a challenge, he has got an opportunity, especially being a businessman, a professional. We have all challenges in our daily life. Today, our relationship between ASEAN and India during this particular period of COVID-19 is very stressful. You will see that all states within ASEAN are going through the same problem, what India is going, and what other part of the world is involved in. We every day see that we lose some lives, some are affected by the COVID. Families are feeling bad about it because they lose their loved ones, and those who are affected have to be treated. Businesses are closed. We are trying to reopen our businesses. Governments are having a stress to stimulate the economy, where trillions of dollars have been pumped in. We estimated that the world economy would need about 3 to 4 trillion, but now the figure is something between 6 to 8.8 trillion, which is needed to revive the world economy. 10% of the world's economy has flattened, has been a total write-off with this COVID pandemic. Let's give it a thought to ourselves. Where are we heading to? And what actually do we want in our lives? And how we can overcome these challenges? Businesses in all sectors around the world are having a problem. Only medical, supplement, pharmacies are doing okay. Other than that, if you look at it, airlines have shut down. You have got a list of airlines around the world who have filed in for bankruptcy, who have retrenched their pilots, who have retrenched their staff. Airports are empty. You have hotels being closed. You have budget hotels within ASEAN being closed, where ASEAN with Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand has got one of the largest tourism business. So everyone today is asking a question, when and how we will revive. There's a change coming in everyday life. We don't go shopping. Things are happening online. Restaurants are closed. We feel that this is actually a new norm. To overcome this, we need a period to actually move out of this. There is no immediate prescription for this. Businesses are suffering, and they will have to take anything between 6 months to a year to come back. There's no instant cure to improve our business. We must be very careful about it. We are all very stressful. And not only us, we also have the people whom we have employed. Can we support them? If not, we have to let them go. If we let them go, how are they going to manage their lives? You have already got figures in US and other places world that the unemployment rate is increasing. And how do we manage these problems? I think Every problem in life will have a solution. And I'm sure we will overcome it as we move on. But this is such a thing which has occurred, this pandemic has occurred, and no one can really say that what is going to happen next. We hope and pray that this pandemic will be over. There are some who say that it might come back. There are some who say that a vaccine will take 12 to 18 months. But all this say is by people who have never experienced this before. So what is the solution? The real solution is that we ourselves, the first priority is to take care of our health. If we are healthy, we will be able to meet the challenges. If everyone thinks that I'm in a problem, my dear friend, according to my survey, 9 out of 10 people are in problem in the business field. So you are not the only one. So don't be worried about it. Please don't be worried about it. Please think rationally. Have a plan. What is more important? A plan to overcome your problems at this point of time in your life is more important. There was an earlier slogan which we said, money loss, nothing lost. Health loss, something lost. Reputation loss, everything lost. But this slogan has slowly changed. When you lose your business due to circumstances, it is not your problem. So everyone understands. So now we have changed it to money loss, nothing loss. Health loss, everything loss. So take care of your health. If you have the strength to take care of yourself, you will definitely find some light to redo what you're doing. That is the real agenda for COVID-19. The governments are very stressful, and yet they have started off cumulative packages for everyone within their countries. America has pumped in trillions. India has pumped in billion, 260 or 270 billion. The whole of ASEAN has pumped in about 275 billion. So every corner of the world, including Europe, has pumped in billions. The reason is they want to support the system. And to support the system, the governments are playing a role. I think this is actually what we are heading in COVID. And now let's come back to our relationship between ASEAN and India. As you all know, that for centuries, ASEAN and India have been trading partners. You cannot get away in the relationship between ASEAN and India. And ASEAN-India relationship is here to stay and to move forward. If you notice it, from the 15th century, 16th century, we had traders from India coming to Malaysia, then Malacca. We had traders going to Indonesia. We had movement across the borders. So we are actually very mature in our relationship. We can only move forward by strengthening it. There's no alarm now. ASEAN has got a great opportunity with India. The reason is India has got the numbers. ASEAN has also got the numbers. India needs to do trade with some part of the world, and we are the nearest to India, which they can work with us. I'm very sure that after the COVID, we will see with the new packages which India has allocated to investors, many investors from ASEAN will look at the possibility of working in India, because the government is opening up. The new packages which were released by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman clearly indicate that they are welcoming investors with an open heart. And ASEAN too has always welcomed investors, and a lot of Indian companies are already there in ASEAN. So that's a great move now, that we might have an advantage for some sort of investment in India.
Wonderful.
But believe me, it cannot be done immediately. We need some time. We need to study. We need to move on and to see what do we want to do and who are our right partners. That is the real name of the game. So when India opens its doors, you have got a market of 1.3 billion people. And there is no doubt about it that we have something where we can tap on. Have confidence, my dear friends, those who are from ASEAN and around the world, and also from India, that the ASEAN-India relationship is here to grow further.
Wonderful, sir.
I believe that ASEAN countries, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, have all been long-time trading partners. And this relationship is here to stay. There was some good announcement lately. Malaysia has started to buy rice from India, 100,000 tons. And India has agreed to buy 200,000 tons of palm oil. So we see, we might have sometimes a little bit of holding on, but things will open up. Our relationships are still wonderful. I would also like to say something here, that while looking at the whole scenario of trade between ASEAN and India, because ASEAN has got commodities, has got raw products, we have got manufacturing, which India will always look into. And India is moving up with its manufacturing sector and coming up with technology, pharmaceutical, healthcare. We have wonderful advantage for ourselves. And I believe that India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, has always said that it is very good to work with your neighbors. And he always felt that ASEAN is very close to India and we can always work together for things to come.
Wonderful.
Having said that,
this is the first part. This is the first part. This is the first part.
Thank you. Having said that, we are moving on our relationship to Northeast.
Before we move on to this, sir, I would just like to endorse over here, because the people from entire ASEAN region, from all the 10 countries, they are with us in this particular webinar. And there are some other eminent people also, those have joined us over here. We have got our own president, Professor Pantrap Narula. He's from Thailand with us. Karan Singh Thakral, our past president from Singapore, is with us. Professor Satinder Dhiman, in the middle of the night, our past president from Los Angeles, he's also with us. Mr. Vimal from London, he's with us. Madam Geeta Chopra from Bahrain, she's with us. National HRD, the Human Resources Development DG, Director General, Mr. Dhananjay Singh is with us. Dr. Swarnima Luthra, the ASEAN International, is with us. Buddhism plays very important role between India and ASEAN. So Dhammapiyaji, the Venerable Dr. Dhammapiyaji, the International Buddhist Confederation Secretary General, is with us. The Sector Skill Council Health is of India, they are with us. And they have got a program also coming up 4 to 5 p.m. on 22nd. And then Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council is also with us over here. And as I made a very special request to you, because there's a paucity of time also, and you have got so much to share with all of us. It's something really remarkable because Northeast India shares a big boundary wall and just immediate neighbor with the Southeast Asia. I would humbly request you that your message should reach deeper and somewhere very closer to the Northeast India also, because there are a lot of friends and a lot of dignitaries, those have joined us from the Northeast part also. From Myanmar, I'm so grateful that Ravinder Jainji and the president over there, Mr. Naresh Dinodia, he has also joined us over here with us. Please proceed.
Thank you, Gulshan. And my greetings to all those who are with us today. Thank you for joining us. And I always believe that it is very important to speak from the heart and the mind so that we can pass a right message, a clear message to everyone. And thank you, Gulshan. Northeast has always been near to our heart. But having said that, before we move on to the Northeast 2 minutes, I would also like to stress that South India, where Tamil Nadu is concerned, we have got a huge following who is linked with ASEAN. In Maharashtra, we have got good friends who have invested in ASEAN, and the whole of India is linked with us, Bangalore. But Northeast is special because it is a border by land. And this is something which is very important to us within ASEAN and India. The Northeast is an important link in the Southeast Asian side of it. Before COVID-19, India-ASEAN trade was growing to an average of annually 19%, around 75 billion. Northeast alone can achieve with ASEAN if proper trading channels are opened out. Because if you see the border of Myanmar with Manipur area, I think that we have got a fantastic advantage in Northeast. And Northeast is actually a paradise. And many people have actually not really ventured and looked into Northeast. I must confess, I'm linked to the Northeast only in the last 5 years. But what about my last 60 years of my life? I've never been to the Northeast because there was not much promotion about Northeast. I think what is very important today, after being to the Northeast for the last 5 years, being in Assam, being in Manipur, Arunachal, all the areas of Northeast which I visited, I feel there is a great opportunity. And this opportunity must be picked up. Whenever there is a crisis, opportunities arise. Today, when I go to India, if I go to Bombay, I go to Delhi, I go to any parts of India, I see lot of people from Northeast working in the hotels, in the service sector. If this group of people from the Northeast can find employment in mainland India, I think now they are already trained up. They can also move into industry in the Northeast. Tourism is a fantastic industry in Northeast. I think they can grab the resources. They've already got trained personnel who have been trained outside now, who can also come back home and contribute to the tourism industry. Hotels must be opened up. I don't find many hotels in the Northeast. But if you go to Thailand, for example, just across the border, you'll find a lot of budget hotels. Why can't Northeast create more budget hotels, create more employment, create more tourists who can come there? That's a fantastic area to look at. We also have got a great potential for agriculture products in Northeast. Fantastic weather. Agriculture growth is there. I believe that Patanjali has already started something in Northeast, pineapple processing plant.
They are at
So that means
near Tejpur, near Tejpur.
yeah. So corporate India is also moving. So I think investors from ASEAN also can start tagging on to look at opportunities. Food industry is a growth industry. During the COVID-19, all governments in the world first opened their page and saw whether food industry should grow after this, because everyone wants to be self-sufficient. So I think there's an opportunity for us to work with our counterparts to see how we can move forward in the growth of the food industry in agriculture side, and also food processing industry. Food processing industry is actually value added. If we have an opportunity to invest in the food processing industry, is a great opportunity. While having said that, we also should look at it at the refrigeration industry, cold rooms. Today, there's so much of food being produced, fresh vegetables and things like that have been produced, but they need cold containers to be transported even to mainland China, mainland India. So if someone can invest in cold containers, cold rooms for storage, I think there's a great opportunity. Coming back to education, I believe there are 20 or 30 lakh crores being spent by Indian students who go overseas for education. This is revenue for loss for India.
Yes.
We can also look at it as a possibility of working together with the states in Northeast to have educational institutions.
In fact,
Malaysia for one.
In fact, sir, sorry, I just wish to mention over here that IBC Secretary General Dhamma Piyaji, he is trying to bring a special central university in Tripura for Buddhism, for building up a linkages with Southeast Asia.
Yeah, fantastic. So what we say is, Malaysia, we have a lot of educational institutions which we have linked up with foreign universities. We can find a triangle system to bring these groups back to the Northeast and create some education platforms there. And I think it'd be very meaningful for Indian students to stay homeland, yet out of their states to be somewhere else, but they have fantastic education. I think it's a very conducive area. Northeast you can look at. Those days when you talk of Northeast, people would look at it differently. Today, everyone understands that Northeast is a good area for investment, for agriculture, for education. So let's look at it. When we have all this in place, what comes next? You have an opportunity for MSMEs and SMEs to grow. Because when you have the businesses, small businesses are needed to support those industries. So I think we must have a plan in the Northeast. You must create a special council in the Northeast as an advisory council only for Northeast on businesses to come there and to grow. And I think Northeast should also create a special one-point center for any investor who goes to the Northeast, whether he wants to invest in Manipur or Assam or Arunachal, anywhere, they must create in a grouping a one-point center where all the problems or questions which they ask can be answered. So I think these are two things which we have to look in the Northeast. And I also believe that we should focus, as I earlier mentioned, on tourism. tourism is actually a boon to Northeast. And I'm sure that's going to help. Because of the people in India, I talk of Central India, have already seen places. But this will give them an opportunity to move on to the Northeast and see the greenery, see nature, create some bird parks, create some flower parks where you tourism. I think these are my pointers for Northeast. And
we
Northeast
have
all the
we have got 2 more minutes basically to sir wind up for this particular
yes.
session, and 3 more
Yeah.
people have joined you now. There are two
Yeah.
from Cambodia, Dr. Sandeep Majumdar and Dr. Mohan Gunti. They have come from Cambodia, and Mr. Arjun Sharoff has joined from Philippines also, this group. Please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I think we are coming close to the end of the session. I would like to request Mr. Gulshan that I think we can create a platform of this nature where we can start speaking on requirements, whether in different areas in India or particular area in India. Today we are talking more for the Northeast. Might be the next time we can talk of another area which will help us to get a clearer picture. All the chambers in India, FICCI, CII, all of them are doing a wonderful, excellent job. But when I spoke to your minister, he says that India is so huge and everyone has to work. And ASEAN also has got 10 different countries clubbed together. All of us in ASEAN have to work to see that our agenda and our wish to link ASEAN and India objectively is met. Because your Prime Minister Modi ji has always supported to see the growth of business regionally. And I'm very sure that all support will be there from the government of India and the governments of ASEAN. Now that we have not gone through RCEP yet, the Regional Comprehensive Agreement, Trade Agreement, it is okay. We have got the ASEAN-India Trade Agreement, which we can depend on. God willing, hopefully, we would have something coming up with this special agreement, and I'm very sure that things will move forward. I have with us also the chairman of Philippines, Johnny Chotrani, with us. I have got a friend from Holland, Mr. Dave, with us, and all you wonderful people who are with us on this platform today. Thank you very much for joining. And if you have any questions, I think Mr. Gulshan will give you his email. Please forward those questions, and we will definitely look into it and answer them in whichever way we can. Once again, thank you, Gulshan, for organizing this particular talk, and I hope that we can move on. On the 22nd, we are having another talk. I think the details are there. I'll pass it on so that all of us can join and work together. Yes. Thank you so much, Gulshan. I hope to...
Quickly, sir, before winding, I will take 1 minute of yours. There is a point from Dr. Dhamapia from the International Buddhist Confederation. What can we do during this particular post-lockdown period, this COVID-19, when we are talking about for Buddhism? Secondly, there is a question from Dr. Swarnima Luthra from the ASN International. What could be done for education, some joint research, and couple of other projects, what can be taken up? And thirdly, from the Sector Skill Council, Mr. Mohit Soni, the CEO of India, he says, can we think about something between media entertainment industry, which could be done jointly, technically, because now the gamification and AI, VI, all those things are coming up as far as virtual reality, artificial intelligence, gamification, all that is also coming in education in a very big way. So couple of questions are there. I will send it across to you. I will write it to you. And we would like to take on, but there are many other points which people have taken. National HRD Director General, Mr. Dhananjay Singh, says that they would like to work very closely with the Southeast Asia, ASEAN, and what they can do, because they have got more than 12,000 members. So that part also they have got. And a lot of people have got questions with regarding to health and wellness sector also, particularly yoga, meditation, naturopathy, nutrition. And you have made some points which something is very important: agriculture products, food industry, food processing, and of course what you have recommended, because some of the dignitaries, those have joined from Northeast, we will convey to them the advisory council which you have told for Northeast, that should come up in a big way. That's something is really wonderful. Any final message would you like to give it? Because we devote more time on our body, but we don't devote more time on our mind. If mentally we are strong, we can overcome this pandemic and we can come this coronavirus also. So something would you like to say?
Yeah. Okay. Just in another two or 3 minutes, I think, please, all those who are in this talk today, do not worry of the pandemic. Do not worry of COVID-19. Just worry that how you take care of your health. If you take care of your health, you have already achieved overcoming the pandemic. So that's the first point you have to work on for yourself. That is the first thing. There's no other thing. Because if you don't have health, you cannot move further. So that's the first point. My second point, I think 2 or 3 questions which are asked by the film industry, I think, well, let's understand one thing. In Malaysia, when we're on the TV, there are a lot of people watching Korean serials. They don't understand the Korean language. They watch Korean serials. So India is such a fantastic entertainment area. You have Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood. You mix all the woods, isn't it? You will have a super wood. And this actually, if you can work together with the locals within ASEAN, tie up some programs with them, and have the influence of ASEAN and India at this platform, which is very meaningful. The second question which was put forward, the first in fact, about Buddhism at this post-COVID. I particularly feel that at this point of time, it's actually a time to sit and think what we would like to do. Let's plan out things, because only then we can actually achieve things in post-COVID. Because we do not know how and when the restrictions around us will be over. So we have to sit down, work together, plan. And the other question which was put forward, it's a great pleasure for anyone who wants to work with ASEAN.
Thank you.
ASEAN open arms, invites everyone, and so does India. So I think when we have such a gesture, there's no restrictions, everything is so simple. Only thing is we have to see what we want to do. You know, I once went to a prime minister and asked him, sir, what can I do? He told me, you please sit down. Don't tell me what I can help you. Tell me what you want. The answer is, anyone who wants something, they must say, this is what we want, and work towards it. Don't ask what I can do. There's so many things to do. But what are you prepared to do? That's the actual answer.
Message well taken, sir. Message well taken. We are thankful to our wonderful audience, those joined us today from different countries. Our deep gratitude and thanks to you, and very especially to our distinguished guest who had been very kind to grace today's this particular webinar, our Dato Ramesh Kodamal ji. We are deeply indebted to you, and we look forward to many more such occasions and opportunities. At the end, ladies and gentlemen, we would just like to share that in the month of April and in the month of May till today, the research which has been carried out by various segments and the groups of our chamber, ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, when we have compiled the entire research, this particular synergy and the golden triangle develops. There used to be a time when we used to call Delhi, Agra, Jaipur as a golden triangle. But the norms for the future is going to be this particular golden triangle, which we are displaying on the screen before concluding this particular webinar. The first on the top, we have got of this triangle, the food processing, the agriculture, animal husbandry, and anything related to organic farming and organic food. The second part, health and wellness. And when we talk about wellness, it will be physical as well as mental fitness of everybody. Yoga, meditation, naturopathy, whatever we think about, the health and wellness industry is going to be very prime focus and very important for all of us. We got to be mentally fit while being physically fit. And the third part which comes over here, when you see on the other side of the triangle, where we talk about E&L, that means earning and learning, digital education, e-education, e-learning, e-teaching. The whole education is going to be learning centric, and we all got to adapt to the new technology and the new system of imparting education, where everything is going to be e-learning and it's going to be e-learn and earn. That part is very important. And there are four pillars when you talk about the whole system, the triangle, which is resting on, that is the micro, small, medium enterprise, logistics, technology, and strategies. And of course, the whole universe has to develop on sustainable development model. We got to be making everything sustainable if we want the next generation to be thankful to us and to say that our previous generation left something in legacy. So ladies and gentlemen, the B2B norm has changed. It's no more B2B is business to business. It's back to basics of life. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for being part of this particular webinar, and our deepest and heartiest thanks to each one of you, and very especially to our resource person today, Dato Ramesh Kodamal ji. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in the near future.